It's early, very early. All in a good day's work, right?
Where's my caddy?
Shouldn't have said that, really, should I? That is ridiculous!
You can't air that one. You can't air that one. So, what are you going to ask me?
There's been so many things written about you, said about you, about who the people think you are. Describe yourself for us.
Well, describe myself from my perspective or from a perspective that I think other people have a perspective of. The people that really know me, they just see me as Ian. I don't think I've changed really from the super confident kid who was scoring goals because I believed I could, the guy who was chipping in because he believed he could. And it's the Ian that my family and my good close friends know me as. You've got a whole nother perception of people, whether it be social media people or people that I might have ruffled a few feathers of through time. They see me as probably not confident, but cocky. So I think there's a separate side right there, which people don't really know the real background story enough to make an honest opinion.
They say a house is only as strong as its foundation. So it stands to reason a story would be only as good as its backstory. Well, the pauper to prince story of England's Ian Poulter is indeed a good one, for its backstory is rock solid.
I grew up just loving the aspect of winning. Whatever it was we were doing, I had to win.
Growing up as kids, anything we played, I would never let them win. That was the first lesson that I always taught them. If you're gonna win, you gotta beat me.
Very ultra competitive. As brothers, they both wanted to be the winner. That's, I think, where the sport came in a bit to start with.
I wanted to be the kid that played every sport. So cricket, athletics, basketball, I mean, the whole lot. I tried every single sport.
We took him to a trial at Tottenham, and Ian wasn't one of the three that they picked out, 300. And on the way back, Ian said, I want to play golf. I think that's what I would like to do. And there you go.
Back in my Leighton Buzzard days, I was looking for a new assistant, and a young man applied for the job with me called Ian Poulter.
This was when I moved to Leighton Buzzard Golf Club. This shed, which is down the bottom end here, is the shed that we basically worked from for 12 months. And when I mean a shed, I mean a shed. We set up a camera inside, a net. We would hit balls in the net all the time, all day. We'd be videoing each other, and Lee would come in after his lessons. He would look at our swings. He would kind of give us tips. For him to understand who I was, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, was amazing.
I would just be in awe of how much self-belief and how much self-determination he had. As a coach and as a mentor, if you like, we are occasionally blessed with these sort of people that come along, and we can only really be as good as the pupil wants to be. With Ian, he wanted to get to the top. He believed he could get there.
Despite absolutely no amateur competition experience, nor any college tutelage, Ian turned professional.
Got accepted off of a 4 handicap, and I remember playing my first event, which was probably only a couple of months later, and I shot 66 in the first round. Went home that night, had an asthma attack in the middle of the night, had to go to the hospital, nebulizer.
Went back the following day and won. Just doesn't want to lose, just doesn't like to lose.
At school, a teacher I didn't like dragged me out into the corridor and was poking me in the chest and told me, you're never going to be a golfer, you're a failure, you're a waste of time, you're a waste of space. And I remember that like yesterday. From that day onwards, I detested anybody that said I couldn't do anything. When people say I can't do something, like, it pisses me off.
I got a call from a guy named Lee Scarborough. He called me and said, I'd like you to meet this kid because he tells me that he's going to earn a fortune playing tournament golf. So I go and meet Ian. He engaged me for 4 hours and I was absolutely knocked out by this guy's commitment, by his application. The self-belief that oozed out of this guy was incredible. Told me he was going to win in the first season, and it was unlikely that he was ever going to win in his first tournament season.
Ian Poulter, the new Italian Open champion, Rookie of the Year to boot.
Self-belief's always been one of his biggest attributes. If you don't have that self-belief, he would not have done what he's done. We were inside the top 50 in the world almost the whole 12 years.
This man is a winner. Golf's Mr. Positive, Ian Poulter.
I had a lot of success. I won every year for the first 7 or 8 years in Europe.
No wins on U.S. soil. Be a nice first one, wouldn't it? Poltergeist is done. He has won his first one.
That was a big win. Match play I love. It's a pure form of golf. The whole one-on-one situation just really gets me going.
Ian's first PGA Tour victory solidified him as a worldwide star. But it was his performance on one stage in particular,
Ian Poulter,
that would make him a superstar.
He's one of these players that thrives on the pressure. The more pressure you put him under, the more he makes it happen, the more he makes it work. And that's why he's a champion, that's why he's great in the Ryder Cup.
It gave me the feeling of what I was missing from the football days. Being part of a team, the team spirit, the atmosphere, the camaraderie, just the buzz of playing not just for yourself. You get so much adrenaline when you win a match. When you chip in, it just comes out. It brings everything out in me that I've always wanted to be.
What a Ryder Cupper, Ian Poulter.
Now 12-3, Poulter. That's the best individual record in Ryder Cup history.
He wasn't given the silver spoon. He wasn't hand-fed and said, oh, you know, here's a vast load of money, go and enjoy yourself. Ian had to work for everything he achieved. I think that's why he enjoys it so much.
Looking good, looking good. Ian showed people how you can start in a pro shop and win a WGC event, and that is, you know, for good golfers, every young golfer, it's the dream.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and they don't come any tougher than Ian Poulter.
He was at the peak of his powers from a results point of view. And then in 2015, I was looking at a guy that wasn't the same individual because of a series of things that were going on in the background.
Once positioned as high as 5th in the world rankings, by 2017, Poulter had tumbled to 207th. Business and personal losses, injuries, and the internal struggle that came with it all affecting his life and his game. Like everything about Ian Poulter, it was complicated.
Man, he is just having a nightmare round. Nightmare.
You've got to hit rock bottom sometimes to know when you need to really make some changes to a situation where I had to clean everything up from behind the scenes.
You need to take all the cloudiness out of somebody's personal life, and that allows them to concentrate on doing the job.
We got rid of the things we needed to get rid of, and it was a big turning point, huge turning point.
In early 2017, Ian began the restructure of his off-course concerns. And 1 week before the Players, they were all but finalized.
It's hard to fire people. It's hard to restructure stuff, but it had to be done. It was why I could go to the Players' Championship with a clear mind. I played like I had a clear mind. So, I just free-wheeled it.
What a putt from Ian Poulter. And that keeps him just a shot behind.
I knew I needed a big finish. Parred 17, and then rushed my second shot into the last. Hit a beautiful shank. Way in the trees. I had a window of opportunity. It was all but 2 feet wide. If you was a gambling man, you'd have obviously had me not pulling that shot off, but I guess that's what excites me.
What a shot. I did not see that one.
By Poulter.
That is quite the shot.
And he's pumped.
It was an up and down I'll remember for the rest of my life, and that was kind of refreshing to know that in 5 days of sitting around this desk to really sort my life out, all of a sudden had me finishing second in the Players' Championship and changed the rest of 2017, which then has changed 2018 into the position that I am today with a 2-year exemption, just won the Houston Open.
At Poulter with a birdie to look at after Hostler strokes his.
Bo had hit his shot into the last. I've hit it just inside him, but 3 feet to the right. It's straight match play.
The first half is pretty straight, and then it starts moving a little left.
Is he gonna make that? He's gonna, just miss it for the win.
As soon as that missed, it was a realization of, I need to take control.
A guy that's known for his putting grit and clutch play. This for the tie.
When you're under that much pressure, the pure buzz of what that is almost suffocating. What that's going to do to the crowd that are willing it in and willing it out is unbelievable. It's the best. You transfix yourself to the one half of the fans that want it to go in. You don't transfix yourself to the other half that want you to miss. In fact, you do a little bit. Because the ones that want you to miss are the school teacher that was poking me in the chest.
And Poulter buries it. Of course he does.
The whole house took off.
If anybody was walking by the house, they might have thought I've murdered the wife, but no, I knew when he'd hold it, he'd win it, because I know what he's like on a one-on-one situation with the Ryder Cup background.
Poulter is the champion.
It was very exciting, yeah. To see that chest putt. He must have had a bruise.
It meant that much. I mean, I kind of beat my chest, a little crazy like some mad gorilla, but it came out.
No, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's amazing.
It was an amazing win. I might put it down as one of my best wins to date for that reason. The longest break I've ever had between wins. The situation of where we've come from in the last couple of years, and all of a sudden I sit here thinking, why didn't I do this a couple of years before? But it's the journey. I wouldn't change any of the journey because it's been an amazing run.
A lot of people say he's different, and I don't understand why you say he's different. I think he is what he is.
The public see him sometimes as arrogant, as pretty direct, as pretty overconfident. The reality of the situation is completely the opposite. I would describe him as an enthusiastic, committed winner. A really nice guy who thinks the right things are good and the wrong things are bad. So he's a nice lad.
There's a conception that he's one way, but if you spoke to anyone, he's a family man, he's a good guy, he cares about his wife and his kids.
To a lot of people, you can call it tough, gruff, or rough, but that's the passion of the man. But when you see him away from work, he's an incredible family man.
There's not words to say how proud I am of him. No, I'm so proud. It's brilliant.
shot, Lily. Very good.
End of story? No way. The author still has a few more chapters to pen.
I'm proud of the journey I've been on. I think it's been an amazing road to today. I still think we've got a journey to go. To see what's been achieved is crazy. I mean, it really is crazy. I have to pinch myself to think it's real.